Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought we would take a look at and do kind of like a side-by-side comparison of the Pre-Raphaelite Tarot and the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot. These are both from the same creator. Obviously they're those Scarabeo decks, but the creator is Giuliano Costa. Costa? I think it's Costa. Sorry if I said that wrong. And the funny thing is I've had the Jack-o'-lantern tarot for a couple years now, and I think about 3 years. I think it came out. Okay, so this one came out in 2021, and this one came out in 2019. So the funny thing is I had this one first, and I bought it when it first came out. So it's been here a couple years. I use it a lot, obviously, during October, September, mid-September, October. My clients love it. It's like my go-to client reading deck because it's seasonal, it looks good, it's funny, um, it's good to use with clients. It's a Rider-Waite clone, like it's exactly Rider-Waite based artwork. So big, I use it all the time. I love it. It's one of my favorite Halloween, September, October, like I said, decks. And then this one just came in, and I didn't even know this one existed. That's so weird, but I didn't even know this existed. And then I got suggested this in Amazon, um, I think in around November, it popped up in my like shopping feed or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I grabbed it. And like I said in some of my previous videos, I was going to return it because it was just so much like the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. I was kind of like, I don't even know if I need this. Like, I don't even know like what I'm going to do with it. But I'm a sucker for Los Scarbeos, tuck boxes. They're one of my favorite kind of decks to get. So I kind of decided to keep it. I shuffled it, did a spread with it. It looked fantastic laid out in a spread. And then I was like, okay, I'm totally going to keep it. And I did, and I have. And I've worked with it a little bit. It was in my December picks. I wanted to work with it all of December. This December, I felt like working with really rich jewel tones and like rich, elegant decks that have kind of like a renaissance or like a, I don't even know how to explain it, like just a richness to them. And that's kind of where like my December took me. I got to work with it a little bit, but the Edmund Dulac has been hogging my time, to be truthful, as well as a couple brand new Marseille decks that I got in. So I haven't go turned to it as much as I've wanted to, but I'm about to make myself put the Edmund Dulac away, and I'm going to start working with this one. I also finally completed my little Trinity, I guess you would call it, and I got the John Bower deck finally showed up, but it got damaged. So one or two of the beginning cards, it was the Fool and the Magician and the High Priestess that got like the corners of the cards got dented. So I'm pressing them right now. There's something that should come out. It shouldn't be an issue. And like I said, there was a little bit of catastrophe around that. If you watched my last video that I did, the morning TNC, I talk about it and I talk about kind of like what was going on with the John Bower. So it actually did finally show up. So now I have the Rackham, the Edmund Dulac, and the John Bower, which was kind of like the three decks that I was really trying to get and have together. So it would be nice if there was one more, but I don't think there is one more. I know that there's a couple more artists in around that time frame that were well known, or but I don't there's a female, I can't remember her name. Her artwork was really popular, like the same way theirs was. There was an indie deck created with her artwork, but I don't think Los Scarbeos has done a deck with her artwork yet. And I'm really hoping they do because it would be nice to kind of have the four, because they would, I could rotate them between obviously the seasons, right? I could have a winter one, a fall, a spring, and a summer. So that would be really amazing. And I'm hoping that I can do it. So here's hoping that Los Garbeos can make, another art styled deck. All right, so let's look at these two decks together. And I know that it's December. Actually, we're going right into January. We're right on top of the new year. I know the Jack-o'-lantern is, obviously Halloween-based deck, but I just really wanted to see these two together, and I was going to do this, so I figured I might as well just make this a video so everybody else can check it out and see. So one of my favorite things about Los Scarbeo's decks is their title cards. I freaking love them. Um, I always keep the one that comes with it. It might be in one of these boxes. Yeah, it is. So they always have like this one on the back, right? And I always keep that at the back, and I always keep the title card at the front. And then when I close the tuck boxes, I put the little booklet at the front so that when you drop this sleeve, this lid down, it doesn't wreck any cards. So that's kind of what I do. But if anybody has noticed, and I don't know if I can even show you, Los Carbeos has changed the bottoms of their boxes. So there's not, it's sorry, it's kind of hard high up. There's not a lip inside. Like, do you know what I mean? When you drop the cards down inside a tuck box, there's usually that inner lip that catches the cards, and then you have to push the cards down, and it usually damages it, right? So Los Carbeos has changed their tuck box to not have that, which is freaking aces, right? Like, how cool is that? They're listening, they're paying attention, and that speaks volumes for a company, one that pays attention to what their customers are saying, right? So to me, like I said, that's a big deal to me. So they're paying attention, which is awesome. As usual, I'll grab just the little white books, right? Nothing crazy. Multiple languages in them, but you get a little bit of like a description on the card, and then they give you a couple, little keywords at the bottom, which is awesome. I mean, you really honestly don't need anything more than this. So, and they're both the same. This is the exact same. So, but you can see like this one has gotten beat up quite a bit from being in front and that lid coming down. So I'd rather damage this than my card. Like I said, right off the get-go, here's our top title cards, which I love. Here's our backs. Okay, I love both of these. The backs on these are amazing. They're so like Renaissance-y and like, I don't know, like you'd walk into a castle and see it in a stained glass window or something somewhere, or like a tapestry hanging. So I love it. And you've got your two owls, and this right here again, you got your two owls. So I mean, quite a bit of similarities in a way. But I love how this is like the pumpkin with like this, like the flowers, like the pumpkin flowers that they look like squash flowers, and the big squash leaves, right? Because obviously pumpkins are part of that family. So their flowers and leaves and everything are very similar to that of all the squashes, gourds, all that stuff, right? It's all the same family. All right, so there's I'm just going to kind of keep them off to the side down here. So here's our fools. Very similar. This one's got like a bat hanging instead of the bag. This one's holding a flower where he's holding like a little skeleton flower. Kind of the same posture, other than this one looks like he's a little bit more tripping. Obviously, he's got a dog biting him and a bird attacking him, where this one we've just got the dog. So very similar, but yet different at the same time. Down here, we have no title card description. We just have 0. This one at least says, 0 the Fool. So there's at least a little bit of some titles happening. Here's our magicians. Very different. Wow, they're very different. The faces are very similar. but very quite like really quite different. These might not be anything like each other at all, but I thought that they were like really quite identical. And that's why I'm doing this because I was like, I think they're like really identical. But see, they're not. Here's another one. It's really quite different. So, I mean, the art style is very much the same, right? But here we've got the high priestesses, and like this one's very, like, I feel almost like I don't even know the word I'm looking for. This one to me looks like a kind of like a queen that's sitting in a castle, right? Where this one to me looks like she's part of like a secret society or like something like that, right? And you've got the two different colored pillars with the B and the J, where this one is not two different colors. But we do have the one tipped over in the light, and this one has the light. So kind of interesting and different. This one's got the crescent moon. This one has a crescent moon there. She's got a little bit of symbolism on her dress. This one's got the bird at her toe. Yeah, so a little bit different. I don't know if these are supposed to be pomegranates. I don't see any pomegranates in this one at all. Yeah, I don't know, really interesting, eh? I thought these were going to be spot on identical, and so far it's proving me wrong. Like I knew flipping through this because I've had this deck for so long, I knew some of them were a little bit different, but so far every single one has been different. And that's why I wanted to do this. Their crowns are very similar in a way. But then again, completely different, right? Emperors, very similar. A little bit more like fall embellishment and details, right? To kind of give you that feel. But like the shields are identical. I feel like the faces are really, really close to the same. His beard's a tad bit. No, you know what? It isn't longer. It's the exact same. We've got the ram. We've got the ram on the shoulder. So pretty similar, not too shabby. This one's pretty close. I feel the chairs, like these heads are off to the side where these tend to be straight on. Pretty close, pretty close. Not too bad. These guys are pretty close. They're very much the same. But it's funny how like they even are like the same people, right? Outfits pretty similar. Collars a little bit different, right? Headpieces are a little bit different. Pretty similar though. Both his staff's a little bit different, right, than this one, but they're still the same idea. So pretty close. Here's our lovers, very different. Back here we have the angel far, far back, where right here she's really up quite close. There is still a snake on the tree, but it's a skeleton tree where this is your apple tree. There's still a golden tree in the background. But a very, very different, right? Even the characters are very different. The females are kind of similar, but the males are completely different. Chariots, pretty close. Obviously, this one's traditional with the two looking in two separate directions. This one, it's kind of like, obviously this one's going straight on and this one's kind of going that way, so that's a little different. Pretty similar, not a whole heck of a lot different, but different. I feel like this is a female looking face and this is more of a masculine looking face. But kind of the same idea, right? The horses are pretty close to the same, other than obviously, like I said, changing details to make it more Halloween looking, right? All right, this one's pretty different too as well. I thought these were so identical, but they are actually really quite different. Just the artwork, right? Okay, so we've got the hermit. Two very different hermit cards. This is like your traditional, like older looking hermit, where this is kind of more of a younger looking hermit. Lanterns are different. Kind of the same backgrounds going on in the same way. And it's funny because this deck is like new, is older, right? And this was 2019 and this is 2021. So like it's like maybe he's aged. That's funny though. I mean, obviously he wouldn't age that much, but you never know. Maybe life was really hard. All right, we got the Wheel of Fortunes. Same idea. Wheels are a little bit different. Obviously, this one's got a little bit more creepy creatures going on it. This is kind of more of your traditional standard symbolism. Justice, very, very different. Completely different feel. Completely different energy, really. I feel like this one is like she's very much on her own and she's concentrating on keeping these scales balanced, where this one seems it's very effortless and she's just kind of holding it and she's got it and it's good, right? I feel like there's very two different messages come through with these cards. Our Hangman. Faces are extremely similar, but this one's hair is longer than this one's. The legs are not in your traditional, this is your traditional 4, where this is not in your traditional 4. But both very standard looking hangmans, right? A little bit the same, but different at the same time. Death cards, completely different. 100%. This death card makes me laugh. I love it. I know it's like it's the painting. I think it's called Ophelia. I believe that's what it is, if I remember correctly. I'm a little bit rusty with my art, but I'm pretty sure this is Ophelia. And like, it's just funny. This is your traditional death card. On like, it's what you would expect to see, right? This is not. This is very, very different. But I love it. I love both these death cards, to tell you the truth. But very, very different. All right, so Lady looks exactly the same. But obviously the scenery around's not. I mean, kind of like it's got the same irises happening, kind of got the same, like the sun. This one's kind of almost setting. This one's not quite there yet. So kind of the same energy going on. She's got the water very much, pouring almost in a cloud-like form up above, where this one she's very, just gently pouring it. So both very good temperance cards, but very quite different at the same time. Here's our devil. I feel like this is a very traditional image of a devil card. I feel like this is not such a traditional devil's card. So, but we still got both those volcanoes going up in the background with kind of like the church buildings happening, right? Maybe just a slightly different angle. These two characters are the same, but the devil looks very, very different. And this is like a very traditional style devil that you see in some of your older, more Italian Renaissance-y kind of decks. I believe. I might be wrong on that, but I think that's, I've seen it before, and I just, like I said, it's like in those older decks. And then our towers. People are different. This is a male and a female. This looks like two males. Same kind of idea with the lightning. But this tower is obviously made to look more Halloweenish. So yeah, kind of, I mean, a tower is a tower, but still there's quite a few differences between the two. All right, here's our star. Exact same ladies. Exact same kind of, uh, this posture to me is a little bit more provocative, where she seems to be more relaxed and concentrating on what she's doing. Backgrounds are kind of similar. Your sky situation a little pretty similar. So these two cards are pretty similar, but yet still their own thing, right? Okay, so we've got the moon. Oh, very different, eh? No human figures in this whatsoever. We've got the two ladies with the the crayfish. I was gonna call it the crawdaddy, but I mean, and that is what it's called. But we know them around here as crayfish. And then your two dogs. You got your two skeleton dogs, so that makes sense. Face is kind of similar in a way, right? And I mean, the pool reflection might be the same if these two characters weren't here in a way, but we don't have that, right? In this card, they're missing. So, okay, sons. So with this one's with your traditional, like the child or the youth, the baby, the toddler, whatever you want to say. And this one is like more of like I'm gonna say that's like more of an adolescent woman, maybe even like a maiden age, but same kind of energy, right? Honestly, this horse is drawn like creepy. This one is drawn very, very well. All right, our judgment cards. Cool. Similar, right? We're still getting that same feeling, but very different at the same time. Got like one skeleton popping out here where you've got several here going on. I have no idea what this person's doing back there. It's like they just got drunk and gave up and are laying face down on their grave. And then this cracks me up. When you really honestly sit and look at it, it's funny. It's got some it's a little quirky too. I do really enjoy the readings from the jack-o'-lantern. But Angel's completely different. We got a female energy, female angel, a male energy, male and male. Oh my God, a male angel. Wow, that did not want to come out. Okay, and then here's our world. So very different figures. I actually like this one better. This one she looks a little strange. And this one, I don't know, it's more traditional to me in a way. But I like both of them. They're both really cool. Both give you the whole world feeling, but very different cards at the same time. All right, so here's our Ace of Cups. And I'm just going to start kind of flipping through them now, because otherwise we're going to be here for like over an hour. I can talk forever about these two. Both got the doves, which is good. Here's our Two of Cups. Same idea in a way. Our Three of Cups. Our Four of Cups. Very different. This is like your traditional style, right? Where this one is not so traditional. Like I feel it's like this character back here kind of is more in like a traditional posture to the Four of Cups. But these people are just kind of like that's not really necessarily a traditional Four of Cup card. It's very interesting though. I get two different readings and two different energies from those. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups. This is very much like that feeling of loss and, two cups still remaining, right? So lost some things, but some things still remain. Where I feel this is like she's just standing and sipping on like a warm tea and like gathering her thoughts. I don't get that feeling of loss from this card. So very interesting that way. This is kind of a similar building situation happening in a way, but this card does not give me that feeling of lost, right? None of these cups are tipped over. They're all standing in like being held, like secure, right? And I feel like she's just like standing there drinking her tea in the morning or in the afternoon, just, having a quiet moment. So two very different energies coming from those cards once again. This one obviously being more traditional. Okay, we've got our Six of Cups. This is more of your traditional style. This is not. I get that whole like childhood memories, reminiscing, going back to the good old days, yeah, sharing stories, kind of feeling from that one. Where this one, I don't necessarily get that feeling. It's just a different, once again, two very, very different feelings, but this one is more of your traditional standard image where this is not. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is your standard traditional. Both of these pretty good to go. They're both very rider weight. Oh, this is like she's opening Pandora's box. Very interesting. All right, and then here we've got the Eight of Cups. Both of these feel like Eight of Cups to me. That walking away from something after we've spent time building and organizing and making it just so, to then just decide that it's not our cup of tea and walking away, right? Walking away from a good thing. Both give you that feel. All right, Nine of Cups. This is kind of more of your traditional look, you know, because traditionally with the rider weight, remember it's like that guy sitting like waiting for you, like almost like a shop owner or like a stand owner, marketplace kind of guy sitting there wishing, waiting to wish your, you know, to fulfill your wishes in a way. Kind of has that feeling to me when I see them, that big hat with the feather, where this guy kind of doesn't have that feeling. But it'd be interesting to see what the PRB stands for because I am not sure what that is all about. Yeah, interesting. So once again, kind of the same idea. This is more traditional. Very traditional image on the Ten of Cups for both of them. Very similar. Okay, here's our Page of Cups. Very different feeling once again, where this one seems very sure of himself, you know, going or herself, walking and going, where this one seems to be looking down where they're stepping and kind of watching where they're walking, right? Once again, this one's looking down again, where this one's very much arms open, straight forward, you know, very fancy looking, where this one, he looks like he's actually looking down again and almost kind of looking for something. Maybe he's looking for a flower or something, right? Because he is a romantic fellow. Okay, and here's our Queen of Cups. Both good Queen of Cups, if you ask me. I get a good feeling from both of them. Both of them seem to make sense. You've got the two, like us, you know, carved out cherub figures up above where you kind of have them more down here. We've got that shell. I don't see a shell in this one here. Very similar faces. And here's our kings. So our court cards look pretty similar. Not all of them, but the kings and queens seem to be. But you got your same kind of boat style happening back here. The platforms are on are very, very different. This is more of like your traditional King of Cups that you would see. All right, our Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, that caught my attention. The hoop with the bird. Same idea, that balancing, prioritizing, you know, making sure you're not dropping things, all kind of happening. I think it's interesting back here in the back, you kind of have the same idea happening where one boat seems to be doing well and the other one seems to be running into trouble. Faces are the same. Hair is different. Okay, here's our Three of Pentacles. Very traditional looking card. This one kind of does not, and it's weird because it kind of looks like she's almost holding like a cell phone, but it's not. It's like a tool of some sort, possibly. But this is like she's still in the process of doing something. To me, shouldn't have been as finished. Like, it shouldn't have been so carved out, right? Where this one, they're very much still working on something together and collaborating and building together. I don't get that feeling from this card. Four of Pentacles. Very different energy. Interesting. Here's our five. It's usually depicted with two figures, so it's interesting that there's three. And then this one has the third character is like the skeleton, the death, right? Like a Grim Reaper almost. Cement backgrounds, like the walls look very similar. Same idea, same, both very traditional images. These figures look very much the same. Seven of Pentacles, these characters have like kind of the same look. I think this is supposed to be a male though, like that's pretty low cut for a female. I know, weird, strange. Just noticed that the bottom of the wings are like hands. I've never even noticed that before, and I've used this deck a million times. There's that like organization and keeping track of, right? Where this one's they're kind of like she almost kind of looks like lazy. I don't know. Very strange. This is your very traditional looking image once again. It's weird that the Jack-o'-lantern tarot is more traditional. This is interesting how these two cards go together. Like I almost feel like they're in the same room together. It's like these two people looking at like this youthful energy. But the Eight of Pentacles, I get it from this one, but I don't necessarily get it from this one. It's a very different feeling to me. Our Nine of Pentacles. This feels very Nine of Pentacle energy. I feel like that one's more traditional than this one. Tens, pretty good. Same idea happening, right? You've got your older gentleman. You've got, more of the parental figures, the youth energy. You've got the dogs, the castle in the background. Everything looks good and organized and well kept and maintained. Here's our pages, a page of pentacles. So this one to me seems like he's looking very directly at you and is like, look what I got. Whereas this one I feel is looking down, which was the opposite way in the other suits. It was this deck that they were looking down, and this one they were being more direct. So interesting, eh? A little bit different there. Here's our Knight of Pentacles. This one gives me more of your traditional Knight of Pentacles. This one kind of throws me off. I always, for some reason, think that this one's the Knight of Swords when I see it, because it has that very fast forward, fast moving attack energy. So this one kind of throws me off, where this one doesn't. This one feels very like that slow moving, direct, hardworking, focused energy, right? And then here's our two queens. So to me, this Queen of Pentacles looks really lazy and boring. And this one has a really long, outstretched neck, which is very strange. Faces are very similar. Both have the rabbit, the hare. But other than that, really quite different. Once again, two separate energies. Here's your King of Pentacles. Very similar faces. This one to me has a better King of Pentacle energy in a way. He looks more elaborate and more put together and more like riches around him, whereas this one, he doesn't look so fancy. Here's our Ace of Wands. Which is weird because traditionally you're like more like this, right? Like the hand coming out of the clouds holding whatever it is, right? Whether it's a sword, whether it's a pentacle, whether it's a wand, whether it's a cup. Whereas this one's very much like there's an actual person in it. So very, very different. This card to me throws me off, this one, because he doesn't look like he's from the same period as the rest of the characters in this card. So to me, it's very strange. Like these are very like medievally looking and like armor and more medieval looking, where he's more the Victorian dressed, if you ask me. So that's kind of a little strange for me. That card kind of throws me off a little bit. But they're both, that traditional image with the holding the world and looking out and, past and whatnot. So same idea, right? We've got our Three of Wands. Where this one's boats are floating away perfectly fine, this one, her stuff doesn't look like it's working out so hot. So once again, very different energies. Okay, we've got the Four of Wands. This one kind of makes me think of the Six of Wands with the Victory with the reef. So like that kind of throws me off a little bit. This is more of a traditional Four of Wands energy in a way to me. Here's your Five. Same idea. Here's your Victory, that Victory card, right? And like there's not even really a reef in here. Like there's a reef around his head, and there might be one back here, but I feel like it's not as dominant as it was in the Four of Wands, where it should be more dominant in this one. And this one, to me, she doesn't look like she's victorious at all. She looks like she's failed. So really strange energies once again. Really quite different. Here's our Seven of Wands. Both good energy. Both feel the same to me. Both very much, what the Seven of Wands is all about. Once again, here we go. Eight of Wands. Very much the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It feels like there's more on this card for some reason. There's more movement. There's more staffs, but there's not. So, very interesting. Same idea. Right, here's our nines. I feel like this is your very traditional nine, where this is not. Like, does not give me Nine of Wands energy, really. Strange. Okay. Tens, these are both pretty good. This is like more traditional and standard. This one looks like she's like I can do it. I'm gonna pick this whole thing up. Watch me. Whereas he's like trying to get it all together and it's all tangled. Whereas this one, she's still trying to, tie it around her and whatnot. But both good tens, if you ask me. Ten of Wands energy. Page of Wands. These are both pretty good. I feel good with both of those. Knight of Wands. I feel like this is more of like what you would traditionally see. But we've got the pyramids happening, so they're in there. I like that they paid attention to the hair color. Queen of Wands. We both got our black cats. Both pretty good Queen of Wands, if you ask me. I like both of them. And then here's your kings. Were they similar looking? Nope. Very different looking Queen of Wands. Where these two, I feel, look pretty similar again. Interesting. Before I did this, I would have told you that the majority of the cards were pretty close, if not identical, when they've actually not really been identical at all. They're drawn in the same style, but I feel like they're both very, very separate energies. So I'm really glad I did this because, like I said, I almost returned this one because I was like, oh, it's just like the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. Exactly. It's nothing like it. It's very, very separate energies. So I don't know. I'm glad I did this. Once again, your traditional where the hand's coming out of the cloud kind of deal, which is coming out of a cloud face. And then this one is got the lady in it. Both your typical Two of Sword feeling. These characters seem to be very similar. Face structure. Here we go. The Three of Swords. Very similar. Both got these faces. This one, the eyes open. This one, the eyes closed. This kind of throws me off a little bit in a way, but maybe, I don't know, she's in the hospital. Not sure why this one's feet are on fire. It's different. I'll have to maybe read the, what they're saying about that card. Because this is like more of your traditional that you would see, right? Here's our Four of Swords. So this one, to me, this person looks like they're dead. When, it's about rest and healing and pause and all that stuff. Whereas this one, I feel like he's just kind of chilling. So I kind of feel like I get that from this. If this one was laying more straight on the bed, obviously that would be more traditional, but this like laying and half hanging off is very strange. And there's like all these pieces of things, like a puzzle almost or something going on. I don't know, really interesting. Here's our Five of Swords. I actually like this Five of Swords better. I think it's a better representation of what the card stands for, to me anyways. But two very different energies. All right, here's our six. Same energy, same idea, right? Obviously, this is based off of that famous painting, The Lady of Shalott. Where this is kind of more of like your traditional, what you would see, right? Our Seven of Swords. So this obviously has more of a Seven of Swords feeling to me than this one. This one, she seems to just be like collecting the flowers, you know, diddle-daddling, has all her swords around her, kind of just hanging out, where this one's like, yeah, I got it and I'm out, and is like very much a forward motion of leaving. So very different energy once again. Eight of Swords, this is a very common Eight of Swords. Both give me that feeling. Nine of Swords. This one gives me more of the Nine of Swords feelings than this one. But I think this one does pretty good too, though. I don't think this one's too shabby. They're both pretty good. Kind of looks like the same character. And our Ten of Swords. Both traditional, good Ten of Swords. Very similar. All right, and here is our Page of Swords. So this character is kind of like obnoxious looking to me, which suits the Page of Sword energy, I guess. I get it from both of them. I think they're both a really good representation happening. Here's our Knight of Swords. So this one I feel that way very much, but this one doesn't, like, so I don't know. I get the the Knight of Swords from the other one. I think it was the Knight of, was it Knight of Wands? Was the other one we were looking at? I can't remember. But anyways, I feel that that one has more of that energy of fastness and approach, where this one I feel is more of like a slower moving energy. This one I do not feel that way. So I feel like this is the better. Other than this is a woman and not a man. So that's very interesting. Here's our Queens of Swords, very much the same in a way. She looks a little bit more like bored, where this one seems a little bit more attentive. But their hands are very much the same in a way. So I pretty close. The King of Swords, very similar features. I still have that feel. This to me feels more traditional, more like ready to go at you, ready to defend. Whereas this one seems a little bit more relaxed, I guess you would say in a way. Like he's got his hands on that sword ready to fight, where that guy's kind of more chill. But yeah, so there's our side-by-sides. Wow. So very different. Each their own, which makes me happy because like I said, I thought that they were very much the same. I mean, other than the two pictures in here, the Lady of Shalott and then the Ophelia, which is the death card, I feel like I would have been like, yeah, they're pretty much identical when they're not. They have a very different energy to them. The jack-o'-lantern was more traditional than I thought, where I would have put this more on the traditional when I felt like the jack-o'-lantern had more of traditional imagery. So I don't know, really interesting. Glad I did this because I was still kind of hung up thinking they had the same kind of thing happening, and they're not. They're very different. So, I don't know. Pretty cool. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, subscribe, thumbs up, all that awesome stuff. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Happy New Year's. Stay safe. Enjoy yourselves.